Hey guys, Tyler Hooks here with JConcepts, and I'm going to show you guys a tuning tip for 2.2 style wheels and tires, or anything that uses that type of gluing process. A couple of different disclaimers before we get started. This isn't really something that's going to work with 8 scale style wheels and tires in the way that they're glued together. So no 8 scale buggy or 8 scale truck or 60 millimeter style wheels. None of that's really going to work for what we're doing today. And yeah, you got to just be really careful, go slow, as I'll kind of show you in this process to do what we're about to do. So today I'm going to focus on a 10 scale two-wheel drive front tire, and what we're going to do is show you guys how you can tune using foam inserts. So what we've seen in some situations, and a lot of times on slicks, is that sometimes the tire itself will actually last longer than the foam. So the foam either breaks down because of the tire sauce that's being used or just from so many runs. And instead of throwing the tire away, what you can do is actually take that foam insert out and put a different one in. And the other thing that you can do is we have these new hard inserts, these RM2 inserts, and instead of wasting a tire, gluing up a whole new set of tires, if you feel like you need a harder foam, you can actually take the stock insert out and install the hard insert in the same tire that you were running, so it's already broken in and ready to go, and you don't really need to change anything. So what we're going to do here, it's not super complicated by any means, but make sure you're patient, you go slow, because you can kind of mess up, and you can potentially ruin a tire if you aren't paying attention to what you're doing. All that you really need is the foam inserts that you're going to change into, a tire band, some glue, and I recommend using a fresh hobby knife. So just any of the normal hobby knives that you would use, just make sure you have a fresh tip because it's going to make it a little bit easier. So what we're going to do is actually cut the tire open right above where the wheel ends. And we're going to take the foam out that way and then put the new foam in. This works best if you do it on the inside of the wheel, so the side that's closest to the car or where the hex mounts. I would refrain from doing it on the outside because there's a lot more load that hits the outside of the tire when you're running around the track. So if you try to cut it open on that side and then you glue it back together when you're racing, you have a better chance of it kind of coming apart and then rendering the tire useless. So what we're going to do is take our hobby knife, and we're just going to apply some pressure on the outside and simply put the hobby knife all the way through the tire and basically just run it around right at the top of the wheel and try to get as close to the wheel as we can. Be careful when you're doing this not to actually cut the wheel open, because especially when you're using a sharp hobby knife, you can cut through plastic. So we're just kind of going slow, doing just a couple millimeters at a time and cutting around. All right, so we've cut all the way around. So then all I'm going to do is just basically unfold the tire. And we're able to get our foam insert out. And you can see you've got all the rubber left over. You want to leave that because you're going to need it. And then it's not that it's like a clean cut, but it's a pretty smooth cut all the way around. So I'm not actually going to put the hard inserts in. Those are just kind of an example of why you can do this, or options that you have. I'm just going to put this insert back in. All I'm really doing in this one is kind of just showing you guys this process. So you're going to want to put your insert in and push it all the way up against the sidewall on the other side of the tire so that it's all the way in there. And then this next process is kind of important. You want to try to, when you flip the tire back over, once you get it all the way over and you move it around the insert, it's important to try to push the tire up against the exact same spot that it was at before when you cut it apart, because what we want is it to actually match up in the same spot, so when it glues back together, it's basically just gluing back together exactly where it was before, and the tire doesn't become unbalanced. So now that I've kind of got it positioned properly, I'm going to use my tire band. And the tire band is not so much to, glue the tire to the wheel in this situation, but it's to make sure that now that you've set up the tire in the proper position, now when you're gluing it, it's going to stay right there in that spot. And kind of a little known fact or lesser known fact is that tire glue actually glues rubber to rubber a lot more efficiently than it glues rubber to plastic. So that's what makes this whole process work. And you're basically just going to run a normal bead around the tire and try to keep it in that same position that you put it in when you were pushing the tire back over. But yeah, this glue that we use today, we're just using the medium glue with the JConcepts insert or tip on it. It glues rubber to rubber really nicely. So this process is actually easier than gluing a tire to the wheel. So just finish it up. Last little bit. And it's not going to be as pretty as it was the first time just because the cut isn't super, super clean. But that's pretty much how you do the whole process. So you're just going to sit there and let the glue dry like you normally would. And that's pretty much how you would change out any insert. And I've seen this useful in a lot of different situations. A lot for myself in racing dirt oval, where you have the track conditions change a whole lot in one night specifically. So I may want to run, a silver ellipse like we have right here. And when I start the night, I want to run a softer insert because the track doesn't have as much grip, and it's pretty easy to drive on. And then as the grip comes up and my car becomes more difficult to drive, then I may want that harder foam. So instead of wasting a whole another set of tires, I can just cut the tire open, put the harder foam in, and I'm ready to go. And it's pretty much as easy as that. It's basically a 5-minute process if you sit there and you stay focused. And so it's just be careful, go slow, and you too can refoam your tire. And that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more content.